Greg Mikalenko, Grand River Environmental Network. Greg, are you here? We won't ask you to jump the wall. Welcome. You have the podium, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I have a background in ecology. I taught environmental studies at the University of Waterloo. I've been active in environmental and ecological matters. I'd like to respond to Mr. McLean. About a month ago, there was a proposal by the big pork plant to chop down a pristine forest of 30 acres for an expansion. I came to speak about how that was an inadequate thing, indeed. Mr. McLean was there, and he posed a false dichotomy. It was either jobs, 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 dozens, hundreds of jobs, or these poor trees. And so I suggested at the licensing meeting, postpone a decision for about 3 weeks. We've got information now, let's talk it over. And indeed, the company withdrew that application to cut down the trees. And we responded by sending the president a note of appreciation for having been generous enough to come to a decision another way. Now Mr. McLean is doing the same thing. It's jobs, 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 batteries, car plants, and these guys are in the way. They're not. There are lots of alternatives to that particular agricultural site. Now, I would like to speak to the matter of the non-disclosure agreement by giving a few case studies. At the University of Waterloo, I was approached by a graduate student who'd made some really impressive discoveries in a branch of engineering, and he found his professor had taken his discoveries and sold them to a private interest. Would I be his advocate? We found nothing in the university, no committees or things that could handle the question. Finally, the student went to the Board of Governors. He had a 200-page dossier of comparative studies. They gave him 20 minutes. There was not a single question from the members of the Board of Governors. He went away in despair, but somebody came running after him. It was the president of Bell Canada, and his message to him was, your case was perfectly just, correct. Awful things have happened to you, but one thing you have to learn is in a big institution, you don't rock the boat. The student then had to get a loan, launch a lawsuit. The university and the professor could see that they were going to lose it, and they capitulated. But they insisted on a non-disclosure agreement. The student said, I don't care about disclosing the amount of money, but I reserve the right to disclose the fact that there was theft, that the institution was inadequate in its response, and that you want to cover up your sins. Second one, a friend who worked for one of the municipalities in the summer was a whistleblower because a manager was making inappropriate sexual advances towards one of the employees. So they fired him. He went to the Human Rights Commission of Ontario, won his case, and they were to restore his salary and a fine as well. And the municipality wanted a non-disclosure agreement to hide their sins. There was an inquiry, a public inquiry into regional government, and this is very pertinent for this body. Ken Sealing was the chair. I attended to hear some of the presentations. There are actually people who made them in here tonight. And a report was made, but Sealing was forced to accede to a non-disclosure agreement, and that document, which could have great implications for the efficient and running of regional government, we've never been able to see it. Now we come...
Greg, you have 1 minute remaining.
What's that? Okay.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Okay, and now we come to the case here. I would like to read to you the cautionary advice that's given by legal authorities in Britain about the abuse of non-disclosure agreements. Your duty to act in the best interest of your client does not override your professional obligations to uphold the proper administration of justice in a way that maintains the public trust and confidence, and to act with independence and integrity. You have completely lost the public trust. I've never seen such a thing happen. People are in despair, they feel betrayed, they feel badly wronged, and I think you must stop trying to acquire that piece of land. Go back. It's so severely damaged here. It really brings
Greg,
one to
thank you.
tears.
Thank you so much for coming in. I see no questions.